Good morning, you all. How are you all today? We are on day number 6 of the Show Up Challenge, and here I am showing up for you all every day and also for myself. Today is all about records of your life or recording records of your life. And what that means? Journaling. Yes, we're going to be talking about recording the different happening in your life and journaling. And let me just get right into it. Yesterday we talked about nourishing ourselves at our meal times and just being there, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I gave you some action steps and some ideas about doing that. We talked about the purpose of the your meals. We talked about the different senses that we have and smelling the different foods and appreciating its value, where they came from, who made them. We also talked about just being present at your meal times. And then I shared a little bit about my story and exercise we did when we were smelling fruit and what it was like. And then I gave you an action step. I want to know, did you do it? Did you do it? So was it hard to be present at your meal? And let me know what your thoughts. I want to hear what your thoughts are. So if you're coming in on the replay, make sure you put that in chat. I would love to see that. So we have a new member that joined yesterday, and her name is Lisa, and you will see her soon. And we also, I can't remember if I had mentioned Gabriella out of Hungary. I have a question though I want to ask you. Has this been helping you? Have you been benefiting at all from these challenges each day, the show up challenge? So anyway, I want to get back to what our topic is for today, which is the records of your life. And this is about journaling. Journaling is really important because it helps to get release pressure when you're writing things down. It also helps as a place for you to put your ideas, things that come to your mind. It chronologizes what's happening if you add your date and your time to your notes. And journals have also been used in legal cases as evidence. It's important to have a journal in your life. Some people are concerned about others having access to it, but of course, you can always have it under lock and key. But it's really for you and your purposes. And I can ask you a question actually, do you have a journal and have you been writing in a journal? But what you write in your journal is any thoughts that you might have, and also any thoughts that come to your mind, or you might have an idea of an invention, or you may have an idea of a recipe, or thoughts that comes to your mind about anything related to what's happening in your life. Those are different things that you can write in your journal. I shared with you, I'm going to be looking at my notes. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. You're going to see me looking from left to right from time to time. Here's something else also, and that is if you don't know what to write in your journal, I've had people to share with me when I was coaching or just in general conversation, what do I write? I don't know what to write. And so when you get started with your journal, or you can just write those words, today's date and the time, and you can state, I do not know what to write. I have this journal. You can describe the journal. You can describe where you are, if you're sitting or you're standing or you're lying in your bed, and you can say, I have no idea, but I'm going to start journaling and just start making notes for myself. And just do that at least once a day, every day. And actually, I got a little bit of show and tell for you also. You might have an idea of classes or something that you have come to your mind that you want to share. And you can also put that in a journal, or you can have a journal just for that. I have significant dates that I put in there. So I might put today's date as well as the time. And we just had a holiday this past holiday. And I might write the name of the holiday and how I might celebrate it, or just the fact that it is a holiday on that date. Again, I'm just keeping a record of it. And so in my journals, I have written that it was my father's birthday or my mother's birthday. Of course, my birthday. You're going to hear about that a little bit later in the next few weeks. I've written about significant things that have happened recently over the last couple months. I wrote about the pandemic having come. And I also wrote about the racial unrest and the things that was been happening in our country. I wanted to share with you the types of journals. You can have different types of journals. One type of journal is a gratitude journal, and I do have a gratitude journal. I also have a journal from my birthday. I was actually a little, I remember times when I was depressed and I was coming up and I was just feeling down. And I never wanted to be depressed, or I didn't want to get so low to the point I was not able to bring myself back up. And so I wanted to be happy on my birthday. I met so many people that were unhappy on their birthdays. And I didn't want to be unhappy. So I created a journal and it became my birthday journal. So every birthday I would indicate and I would just write the things that happened on my birthday, the gifts I received, the cards I received, the calls. And then when social media became really prominent in my life, all the different people who had sent me messages and likes and loves and the different cards, I want to say social media cards, but I guess that's what they are. So I would, yeah, that's what I would do. I would have a birthday journal. Now you can have a journal on your children and different things about their lives. You pretty much you start with that when you have your baby book. That pretty much is what a baby book is when the parents start with that with their children. You can have one on your love life or your marriage. I actually did that with my husband when I met him. My thoughts about him and my feelings about him was so strong and so luring and just long lasting. And I could not stop thinking about him. So what I did is I said, I got to write this stuff down. I got to get this out of me because I got to work. I got to do other things. So I actually got a journal and I wrote about how I felt about him or went out on a date or we met or we talked. And I would just write down some thoughts. It's the first journal I ever had about anything related to my love life. At that time, I did not know I was going to marry him, but it was really interesting that my passion about my thoughts and my interest in him was so strong. So, and side note, yes, it was love at first sight. That's a whole nother story. Maybe I should do something about that. But anyway, so yes, you can have one about your marriage or your love life, sleep journals, your eating habits. You can also have something, and your journals can be in audio or it can be video. You can do something like this. Some people have used Facebook to journal. Some have used Instagram also, and some have just used pictures. You can have one at night, recapping the day, and I have one of those as well. And then you also have a journal on grieving and sympathy. If you had loss in your life, I have one for my mother and my father who have transitioned. And I also have one for a brother that recently transitioned about a couple of years ago. But you can have, if you have a loss in your life, like a child. Letitia said, yes, the challenges have been really helpful for her. It's been okay. And she says she does have a journal, but she has to start writing in it. And I would suggest that when you first get started with writing a journal, that you can have it by your bedside or you can take it with you. If you have a regular habit, and we all have a regular habit of meal times every day, that you can write a journal about that. And or just write it. You can write your grace or your prayer in it, or any statement of appreciation or gratitude. My question earlier was, if you do journal, and what do you write in it? What do you write about? And my other question was, have you stopped journaling? Did you start and stop journaling? If you had stopped, then go ahead and get started again. So I'm going to take this moment and I'm going to share with you my journaling. I started journaling. Actually, I think I started in the late 90s. I don't know. This particular journal I received, and you will see the date, is back in 2001. And this journal, I started off with having, the date was actually in November. And then I have another journal. I'm just going to share with you each one of these journals. This particular journal that I have here, I ran out of journals, and if you can see right here, it says transpose. I'm moving all over the place. You can see that it says transpose. I was transposing my writing onto this journal because I started a journal, but I ran out of physical journals to write with. And so what I did was I wrote on a sheet of paper and then I transposed it to that journal so I can have something on a regular basis. When I first started writing a journal, it was just on different sheets of paper. I was grabbing any sheets. And I actually got that idea from my niece. My niece introduced me to it. oh gosh, some years ago, and she was telling me about the importance of writing and getting the stresses and the thoughts out of your mind and out on paper. And she gave me so many examples. It took about a year or so, but I actually did do that. And so I need to dedicate this live to her. And I used to hear about it a lot on the Oprah show. And then one day I started, I said I would go ahead and do this gratitude journal that I would hear Oprah Winfrey talk about. And I did. I wrote it and I have a gratitude journal. So here, let me continue sharing with you. So this journal right here is a journal that when my mother passed, and I started writing in the journal about my life and with my mother. And so here, this is what I want to tell you. I started off, I said, today I bought this journal and it's Friday, May 17th. I have the year in here and I wrote the purposes that I needed to write about it because I love you, I miss you, and it's been a month after her 65th birthday. She passed when she was 65. That's one journal, and I just wrote anything related to my thoughts of my mother. I had someone to tell me one time, it was in a conversation, and I really didn't know her personally, but she said my mother was just approaching the end of her life. And then this lady mentioned that whatever you do, get your journal and start writing about it because there'll be thoughts in your life, thoughts that you'll have that will only occur during that time, that during the bereavement time when you are grieving. And so I did that, and it has been a blessing. Of course, it did get painful for me, and I stopped writing, I stopped journaling in it, but occasionally I would go back to it, and I still have it. Anyway, and I have one for my father as well. I do have one, and this is another journal. I call it Evening and Night Gratitude. And in here, I remember on the Steve Harvey show, he mentioned something about writing a journal and writing 10 things you say. So I had a column of 5 and a column of from 6 to 10 of things that happen for the day or during the day. And I have two more journals I want to share with you. I have a dream journal. This actually said dream, and I just put an S beside it that says dreams. And in this journal, if I had some dreams that was really significant, I will add those into the journal as well. And so that stays by my bedside. And then this is the journal I use today. And in my journal, what I use today, I actually write a date and a time. So let's just see here. This particular journal was started in 2017. I'm almost at the end of it. But I write the date and the time. I write the day of the week. And I write what I am feeling at that time, at that moment. And you can do that too. Whatever thoughts is. I can write about the weather, that it's storming out, or it's raining, or it's sunny. I love the sun. I actually do this during my devotional time period. So I will write down the scripture that I'm going to be reading and if I'm going to be praying. And then after that, then I'll write a thought or something or that I gain or I learn from that. I have had times when I have spent an hour just writing. Yes, my hand got tired. My fingers got sore. But I have done that. It doesn't take that long. On the average, it takes about 10 minutes, a little bit less for me. And it could take you just about a minute just to write the date and the time and your thought or your idea for the day and probably what you are planning to do for the day. That could be something. But again, it's a good idea just to get that out of your mind and out of your heart, what's in your heart. You'll be able to refer back to it as well. And they do say go back and look at your journals. I haven't done that always. I just make sure that I get it out. But I did go back several times to my love journal, which is about my husband now. Today, my question is to you. Do you have a journal? And also, what do you write in it? If you do not write in it, I want you to start to write in it. That's your action step. Start to have a journal and state what type of journal you have and also how are you using it. If it's a general journal, just general statement, then that's fine. That's what mine started out to be. And then I created other journals for specific purposes. So that is how I am showing up today for you all today. That's what I wanted to share with you about showing up in this showing up challenge. I'm doing this challenge with you as well. So Again, make sure you do your assignment, your action step. I don't want to call it assignment. That's what it is. It's an assignment. Lakia just shared that she used to write about a lot of various things, but it was just unorganized on different sheets of paper. Lakia, I have to share with you. I did the same thing. I had different sheets of paper, and I still have those papers. I'm not sure where they are, but in my reorganizing and preparing, purging for this year, I'm probably going to find those. So yeah, that's what I started off with, just sheets of paper. Then I realized I need to get this organized, and I went to one of those trade shows where they give you these books and these little spiral binders. I happened to just get one, or a tablet. You can also use one of those steno pads. I actually used to journal on television shows, especially Oprah show. I had a sternal pad, and I would just write significant things about her show because it was so much to gain and so much to retain, and I learned and I gained so much. But you can take those sheets of paper and you can place them in file folders or envelopes, and you can hold on to them. No need to transpose them. Just, when you get a binder, just get another spiral binder. You might actually have it in your home. Lakeisha says she has received a spiritual journal on Mother's Day. That's wonderful. And you can do that. You can use that, Lakeisha, as a journal for yourself as a parent. You can use it to celebrate all of the Mother's Days that you have experienced. You can use it for so many reasons. Anyway, this has been a blessing. Thank you, Lakeisha. Lakeisha says she is going to take the suggestion of creating various types of journals so she can have different purposes. And you can give it a title. You can add the name on it. Oh, one other point I want to mention about the journal. Also write the ending time of the journal so that you'll know when the journal ends. At the end of the journal, I don't write the date and time because that's already been written, but I will write the time. And if you change to daylight savings to time and back to standard time, each year, excuse me, you can do that. Okay, that is it for me today. I have lots and lots and lots of work to do. I will see you again on tomorrow, showing up on the Show Up Challenge. You all have a great day today. Take care now. Have a good day.